Dude, I gave you chicken, I gave you fish, I gave you your tuna flakes that you love. What? Don't spray my pants, dude. God. That's way too much information, but I'm very lucky. My sister and other people warned me. They cut their boys' balls, and because they spray everywhere. But when he sprays, it smells like barely like anything. He's so healthy. It's just like water. I don't care. I just do more laundry. I'm not gonna cut him. He's fine. Anyway, I got lucky there, boy. He's so healthy. He drinks a lot of water. All right. So the first thing is kicking is what we did. What we always do is we turn the pelvis forward, we pull up, and we extend, and then we pull back. Sometimes we stay pelvis forward. Sometimes we turn to the side and squat. But the next level is once you turn from warrior 2 to warrior 1, you have the pelvis forward. You go from your long stance, you pull into your core warrior, which is your short stance, to pull your kick, and then you extend your leg. The next level is to shift from side pose to side pose. So you have to go to the back of your mat. This is amazing mobility therapy, which is core strength with flexibility of joints, strength of muscle, flexibility of joints. We're calling that core mobility. Okay. So when we turn the pelvis forward, we pull up for the kick. We throw the kick, but then we turn the pelvis forward, turn the pelvis to the side to extend the kick. So then you're on the other side. So that's the next level. But we're not kick boxers, so we have to learn to do it slow as a therapeutic process. So we go from side pose, warrior 3, to the squat side pelvis stance. And we turn the pelvis forward. We pull up the kick, but then when we extend the kick, we thrust and turn the pelvis sideways to advance, to put power into the kick. But for our therapeutic purposes, it puts us on the other side. So that's the first thing. The next level is to learn when we turn the pelvis forward, we throw the kick. If we're going to pull it back, we pull back to the side like we do. But if we want to thrust the power forward, then we turn the pelvis to the side to extend the kick forward, so it pushes us to the other side. That's a new thing for us. It's not really in our system because it doesn't fit on the mat for the yogic flow. But it is incredible joint therapy, working from the inner strength and the extension of mobility through the joints. So when we come from the side, we're going to face to the opposite direction when we come down. And then we pull back to the side. So this is a lot of work on the hips. So you have to take it really slow. Okay. Right. So that's how it works. How are you? So that's how it works. Let's see. Hello. Hey, are you up for this? Okay. Hey. Okay. So that's the first part. So we have to learn a new level of it. This is the real application of martial arts. For extending the kick, meeting the target, but for our purpose as yogis, as athletes, as for our mobility, coming from the core. So of course we know from the side, as soon as we squeeze in, we can pull in if we choose. And once we pull in, we bring it up, extend, but then we thrust forward to the other side. That's a lot of work. We pull it all the way back. So it's a little, your mat is probably, and mine is probably not long enough to sustain that. But sometimes you have to step off the mat. So we come to the other side. A lot of work on the hips. And we pull it back. That's one thing. The other thing is that what we don't really do in our yogic flow is the roundhouse kick. And literally roundhouse kick refers to coming around the house. So you're kicking from the side. What we do in yogic arts is we turn forward, right? And then we pull around and we stop. We go side pelvis, forward pelvis, come around, keep the pelvis forward and stand down. But the next level of kick flow that I haven't taught very much is once you come forward, bring it up for the roundhouse. Sorry. But then when you come around, again, the same principle. Your standing foot turns out and your pelvis turns to the side and you're back on the other side. You come around. So when you put your hand up for the target, like we normally do, we turn the pelvis forward, we come around, and we stop in the middle. But we have actually not really expressed our full capacity of the hips. So the real next level is when you turn forward and come around, you use the momentum of the leg to complete the kick and you come to the other side. That's martial arts. But that's the real full expression of the joint range. When we pull back, we turn forward, we pull the kick from the same side like we normally do, but this time we come all the way around. You might have to leave your mat, advance. But that's what it is. That's the real thing. That's the real thing I never taught. So now I'm ready to show the whole thing. So the real thing for power is to completely turn your pelvis 180 degrees to the opposite direction. And that would put you over here. That's a lot of work, but that's the real deal. And you can do it really gentle. Pelvis to the side, turn forward, pull from the same side always. We know that. Pull the kick. Well, this time, we complete the motion finally, after all these years. Keep going. You're on the other side. And then you're working the hips so deep. It's a whole different level. It's a great workout. The other level is a little bit advanced, but we've been doing this for a long time, so it's time to have a little fun. It's a spin kick. It's the other way. We did a little bit of ballet like that, where we turn into like a cross stance, right? And then we turn all the way around like that. So we start with the pelvis on one side. We spin the feet like a cross stance, cross stance. And we come around and we stand down. Now we're facing the other way. That's the full expression of a spin kick. A little something that might be nicer on your hips and allow you to be more able to make the turn. And it's actually a very smart martial art technique for fast, powerful spins, is to do something unusual in yoga, which is if your pelvis is facing to the side, you turn forward, you turn to the side, the front foot steps across the other side of the mat. So when you spin, you have a greater capacity to turn and stand down. In martial arts, that would be a very smart move. You'd step in and be like, boom, right? But in yoga arts, there's a therapeutic slow flow. You just consider that if you're in a warrior 3 and you step across and spin, it gives you a great capacity to lean in and get the speed and the power that you need. But that is also therapeutically, has a therapeutic application, because it's very hard to spin on the feet on the same line, like a warrior 3, turn around into a reverse, into a cross-course stance, and spin. It's okay. But when we start to practice together, consider to step across the mat to to make it very smooth and easy to spin, but it throws you off the mat. That's why I developed the yogic art system, as we've developed it together over the years, to stay on the mat, to make it a yogic practice. But in martial arts, there's no mat. There's just a big, vast mat called a dojo. So we don't worry about this small square space. Step across, turn, and spin. And that gives you the power, but it kind of throws you off the mat. For that reason, I bound the practice to maintain it on the mat. That's how I developed the original system. But now we, like a dancer, we just choreograph across the room. We don't focus on the mat. So that's another thing. The other thing is a review of ground combat, which is the best way to really get your hip up, or get to very fine waist, which is kind of when we drop onto the forearm. That's the original version of dropping down. Only this time, I'm not going to slide the hand back and catch the wrist, although you could, because that's a good structure. So that circus stuff we do when we drop onto one forearm and slide the hand back to catch the wrist, which, it's because it's just us today, I'm talking pretty fast, but I think you understand. For example, the yogic reference is when we do the lunge and we do the arm lock, and we're going to do all this in a moment. We pull the hip back, we get a good stretch, we lunge forward. And as I mentioned before, some people can't do that. So how to teach beginners, quick reminder is that we strike the inner thigh with the upper arm, put the hand down so that we can lean the thigh on the arm more comfortably and have a greater open range of motion from the forward shoulder, which could allow us like a lizard crawl to shift forward. But that particular position, as we kick back and drop the elbow down, as you may recall, when we catch the wrist, that's that X line, that diagonal line that allows you to do the baby Scorpio, but also allows you to, roll up into a headstand and, press up or, whatever you're going to do. But that's also the position of ground combat. It's the same structure. So that's a good thing. And then the three original motions are to kick to the side, rotate the hip in to stabilize the thigh to the pelvis, which of course activates Bandha. Just use the whole ribs from the spine for the kick. So the hip turns in, and that's why that mudra is heel higher than the toe, because the hip turns in, so it's a diagonal foot. That's the power of the kicks to the outer heel. It's also the power of the stance to the base of the leg, the back inner heel. The same thing as a kick, but this warrior stance structure is always the back leg. You have to understand that is the same as the kick. That's why it's a strong base, just like a kick, right? That's the same thing. But now we're putting it in the air. And when we kick to the side, the heel's higher than the toe. The mudra in martial arts is that the toes are flexed and the large toe is extended. Let me see if I can show you that. I haven't taught this a lot, but you may know that already. So not so bright there, but so yeah, so all the toes are down, the big toe is up, and that creates extreme power through the outer heel. But that's neither here nor there. That's too fancy, or but that's the information in case you want to try to do that, or you can just kick whatever foot position you want. But that's the power position of the foot. That's the martial art mudra. So when you bring the knee up towards the shoulder, extend the leg out to the side, turn the hip in a little, toes down, big toe up, press to the outer heel. And I don't even remember the sequence. You guys probably do. But after the kick, 5 reps is a powerful intro. 10 reps is quite a challenge. Your hip will burn, and that's when the muscle's developing very well to create that very nicely shaped hip. And the strength of the base of the spine, the backbone of the base is the triangulation of the glutes. But so that's the first one. Knee to shoulder, inhale, exhale, always exhale, strike, always empty, strike, empty, extend the power through the breath. Then the next level, as I recall, is a scoop. And then you're working so strong, scooping, flexing, scooping, flexing, scooping. And then the last one is a high pulse for the fine-tune the micro muscle. And then you'll be burning pretty good there. That's the 3 points of the side version. The back kick is the same sequence as you may recall. So I haven't taught this in a while, but it's the same thing, but you kick into the back so that you bring the knee up to the shoulder, extend behind you. If you kick too high, you won't be able to straighten the leg, or you feel a little pressure in the back. So it's okay to kick low until you find the level you're comfortable at. So when you kick back, heel higher than the toe, toes down, big toe up. That's the back kick. It's quite an extension. And the swing up, right? Flex high, swing low, high. Same as the side. Inhale, flex high. Exhale, swing low, high. Same as the side. That, right? As best you can. And then that micro pulse to really fine tune those inner workhorse muscles. And then chill. And then we often circle back just to kind of work it out, work the range of motion of the hip, get that good stretch through the outer thigh, and the strength of the inner seat. And then what I'd added on in recent times is the cross core lunge. So after you swing back, you just step as far back as you can, and then it's kind of like a swan. Then you're pushing back, you get the stretch. Then the forward base hip has had its limit, and that's when you can't transfer by kicking the front leg back into your baby Scorpio or your standing baby Scorpio to counter pose. Then the addition to that is the cross core stretch to catching the tiger's tail, which, you know, if you kick back and you're a baby Scorpio, the base leg worked really hard, the base leg worked really hard, and then you count that leg back. That's the leg that needs, the hip that needs to stretch. Then you push up and catch the back foot with the forearm hand, the opposite hand, and you kick and press. Use your shin base and kick, press, tiger tail, and drop and press. Of course, there's the later standing version, but if we get to that. So that's the simple version of the ground combat with the added cross core lunge and the tiger tail catching the opposite side. So that's kind of nice. Of course, we know from the standing version option is when we stand down, we drop the heels together like a warrior one base. Then we can also do the standing version and get a little stronger, which feels really yummy and powerful. And you drop and take the press and do your wave motion for your body flow. So that's that. What else? The standing set is a little bit strong, so you can do it standing, but you can also drop your forearm and finger stand, standing, swing, pulse, kick back, swing, pulse, and drop right into your push-up, back inner heel ground, catch tiger tail press. If you ever want to do it a little bit, if you have a stronger audience and you're going for some a little bit stronger, you can graduate from kneeling ground combat into standing ground combat. It's a downward dog kicking series, which I've basically never taught because it's, I don't know why, it's a bit strong. So that's all that. What else? Any questions so far? It's just us, so you're welcome to turn your audio on and ask me questions or have any comments or remind me of anything that I might be forgetting that could be juicy to add to our flow that we're preparing for right now. You're good? Okay. What else? How many people just jumped in and missed the earlier part? We'll get it in the practice. The basic kicking sequence, the pelvis turns forward, do the forward strike with the knee. We come back around, always pull from the same side to get the power. If you pull from the opposite side, it will just hurt your back. You pull from the same side as the kick, that's working the core, the front. That's the smart move. So you come in forward, boom, come into the side, boom, and then we counter that hip by turning it out, woos. Then the new additions are, well, once you move to the back of your mat, it's all short stances today, it's all striking. You pull forward, you pull the kick up, you learn to extend the leg, and the extension kick foot mudra is long ankle flex toes, just like you're standing on your, walking with your heels up, like that. So that's how we train in the dojo too. We have to run around and around the dojo with our heels up. Of course, it shortened our calves, but it gives you spring for your jumps. So you can jump really high. So I grew up with the Korean martial arts, was all high jump kicks. Maybe because they used to kick people off horses. I'm not sure why, but that's their style. So heels up, and then I would run from the dojo to the yoga shala and then do down dog and be like, oh, thank God. Stretch out my calves. And that's when I started to develop from the Ashtanga to the Vinyasa walking dog to really work, isolate each side of the calf, which is so nice. And that's how that all developed, from being forced to lift your heels all day, just so you could jump and jump and jump. But so the additions are, we know when we pull it up and extend, bring it back and stand back down. Pull it up, come around to the inside kick, right? And stand back down. Come around, turn forward, pull from the same side for the outside kick and take it down. The next level, if you've had this experience with me, is that when you turn forward, you can also pull the stretch kick carefully, come around and pull the inside kick carefully, turn forward. So the inside kick comes from the side. You come from the side pelvis forward. You can see my knee collapse, and that's not so smart. They're really smart, perfect alignment. The hip will rotate out even when you turn the pelvis to the side, just like Warrior 2, just like Warrior 3. The knee always follows the toe. So the foot's forward, the knee's forward. So I'm just being lazy. So if I turn my knee in, that's my bad habit. But it's also a way to protect your knee in martial arts. If someone's trying to kick your knee, you turn in so they hit your shin, not your knee. But that's just my old habit. That's another little thing. But notice my foot turns. I don't keep my foot there when I turn my knee in. That wouldn't be safe therapeutics. So I do turn my foot in. Usually it would be you turn your leg and you turn your foot with your knee, because the knee always follows the toe like that. Okay, just like doing Warrior 1 on both sides. If you do Warrior 1 on both sides, you would turn your feet as you turn your hips. But okay, so then when you're pulling it up, pulling it around, and then to kick out, you turn the pelvis forward because you're going to pull it out and turn back to the side. The additions that I mentioned in the earlier part of the lecture, the advancement of the practice off the mat, we can play with if you like, but that again, that's pelvis to the side, turn forward. When you go to throw the kick, instead of pulling it back, so if you're just going to snap, you'd pull it back. But if you're going to thrust forward, you go all in. So you're stepping forward. So then when you come forward, you turn the pelvis to the side to advance the kick. Then you'd be on the other side. And you go back to the other side. You'd be like, like that. So that's much more mobility in the hips. So you have to take it easy. Be gentle. The other point is the same, which is if you're preparing, turning the pelvis forward and pulling the hip around like we do for the inside kick, but then instead of turning the pelvis forward and keeping the pelvis forward, you completely shift to the other side. And that's probably feels funny, like a sumo, like ooh, ooh. So that's because it's so martial arty. That's the real deal. So instead of just our training that we've done for a long time, which is great training, next level is just take it around, bring it back. A little more work. The advanced version that we could get to if we felt like it is the spin, which is going the other way, which is a little bit fancy and pretty advanced. It's definitely black belt level. It's not what beginners would do, but if we take it easy, you step across the other side of the mat, turn backwards, let your feet spin, cover your ribs, strike, and then take that out like that. Come all the way back around. So step across, turn, prep it, come around, stand back down. There's a lot of spinning of the feet, so you have to get very comfortable moving your feet. That might be a bit fancy, just, and what that is if we took our forearm to the wall, like many of us have done together, with your elbow on your shoulder line, and your knee is, you kind of lean, like it's like as if you kind of leaned up back on the wall. Hip over the ankle would be great, but it's not always the case. But that's just when we pull back. People are always kicking, in yoga, they're always kicking the bow. They're always going for the danya, always going for the bow, always going for the nataraj, the star dancer. There's the other thing I've been trying to teach for a while, which is don't throw the kick, to allow the heel to stay on the hip, and then pull the leg back like a tabletop sideways, and kick through the standing heel, thrust the sacrum forward as the sternum rises up, lengthening this arch of the spine, and you get that super juicy long stretch through your sacrum, and that's really coming from the spin kick. So when we go with forearm to the wall and we spin out, it's an incredible therapy. The advanced version of that, as I mentioned, is a step across, turn, and just pull it out, and then just take a break. With more practice, you'd step, turn, spin, and step all the way back. That might be a bit much. Later, you would throw the kick. So I'm not warmed up for that, but that would be like, you know, when you turn, instead of tucking, you're kicking with your heel, you know, so you'd be like, which my broken hip doesn't want to do right now, but so we might not get to that level, but okay. So then there's also the side kick, which is the most powerful kick in the world. And a spin puts all the force into it. So a spinning side kick would be, or a back kick is very similar to a side kick. What's the difference? Just like the name implies. Side kick is kicking the foot sideways, even though the heel is a little higher than the toe, to stabilize the thigh of the pelvis. It uses the core to thrust through the outer heel, but don't care about that. So that's a side kick. The back kick is literally turning backwards and kicking back. So it's much closer to a warrior one back foot. So if you're really doing a back kick, it's really the base of warrior one. And if you're really doing a side kick, it's really the base of warrior two. So the kicks come to establish the base of the stance in this warrior work. I don't know how interesting that is or how much you can follow that, but I'm sure you can. Yeah, so that's the real deal. And I've rarely taught it. So I'm ready to share it. So this is a good test. Okay, so that's that. Now, how do we incorporate all of that into a flow? As I mentioned, it might get you off the mat sometimes. You kind of have to be flexible. Imagine it's like a choreographed dance class. You're not really focusing on staying on the mat. Okay. So, right, that was 30 minutes. That's my lecture. A little bit of technical lecture. It's time for practice. Are we good? Let's get on the mat. Drink a little water. Drink a little tea, go pee-pee, whatever. Get ready. Okay, we have one more minute for the first 30 minutes. There's one more thing that's very fun, and I'll just demonstrate it right now so that if I do throw it into the flow, it won't be totally alien, so you can get the idea. So I need you to open your eyes bright and let your ears go wide and notice my demonstration, because it might not happen for all of us today, but I'll just show it one time. Not the first time I've showed this, but an easy way to understand the cross-court stance is stepping behind and taking our bow. That's an incredible warm-up, and it's an incredible cool down. So nice. But it's also, just as much as it is dance or, you know, finale, it's also martial arts. So when you step behind, you're stepping to the side, off the mat. Or if you're on the side of the mat, you know, stay on the mat. So you step behind. Notice, if you can, whichever angle works best, is that when I step the leg, the opposite hand goes forward. This is the X of power. When I stand down, I change hands. And now I've gone to the opposite X in the front. So if you block, strike, that's the most classical Kung Fu in the world. Because what you're, in all Aikido, Japanese, Chinese, Korean, whatever, English boxing, anything, you don't want to meet force with force. You want to divert force and use the opponent's force, or just like a dancer, you work with their flow, so you're not like bumping into each other. You're dancing together. It's like a flow. So somebody's coming at you, you let that force keep going. You just care and keep continuing in this direction, like pop, pop, right? Something's coming at you. You don't want to just go like that. Probably want to step to the side and take advantage of the force that's coming at you. But okay, so a fun way to practice that, which we're about to do, is just take the opposite hand to the foot and catch it behind you, just like a funny 80s dance. And then the free hand goes to the back of your head, which is therapeutic, because when you push your head back into your palm, you lift your chest and lengthen your spine. All good. The foot that you're catching, you can pull that heel right into your bottom muscles, right into your hip, your direct glute muscle. And that also gives you a little more stability and turns on your bandha and allows you to squeeze your inner legs and sit bones together downstairs, while upstairs you're pulling back. So it's really grand in your open heart, and it's powerful and it's fun. And it also makes you work so strong with the inner thighs active when you're standing balancing foot. But then when you let go of that foot, you just let it stand down to the side, just like we've been talking about. And that's the cross-court stance, Warrior 7. So just remember that the foot that steps behind, the opposite hand pushes away. Just for fun, it feels really juicy and it's smart. Put your hand right on your hip, the one you're not using. Just like like you've seen in Karate Kid, when they prep, there's always the other one ready. They're always primed at the hip. But we just catch our hip, it feels so yummy. And then we step behind and the opposite hand pushes away. Once you shift that, then you change hands, put your other hand on your hip and push the other hand. So you learn about opposites moving together for balance, but also hugging strength, standing down, and then shifting to the other hugging side. That's kind of fun. It's just like boom, boom. Boy, if you taught that, people would be like, oh my God, that is badass. That's Kung Fu. It's so easy. Step behind, opposite hand and foot. The weight shifts back. That's that back heel and the opposite arm in front of you that you're holding up. But then when you shift your weight forward to advance, you retreat and advance. So when you advance to the other front foot, that's the opposites on that side. Eventually, over time, if you move slow enough and breathe, you'll start to feel that up in your core. You feel that little X. It's yummy. So opposites balance, but also connecting through hugging, strength. Stand down, you shift your weight back. Then when you shift your weight forward, you change hands. And now you're working that opposite hug. It's so yummy. And then you try the other side. You just catch your foot behind you, opposite hand to foot. Pull the heel into the hip. Bring your hand to your head. Lift your chest, push your head back. Feel the long spine, the deep tail, the hugging heel to the seat, and the open heart. And that's fun. And then standing and finding your stance and squatting and make you really strong. It's not so difficult. You just slowly find your way. And then you let go and you stand down to the side behind you. And then you can take your bow. It's fun. It's so yummy. And what a great stretch as you unrotate your sacrum on each side as you work those deep glutes between the hip and the sacrum. So nice, so easy. Then on the second side, the foot that steps behind to the side naturally. And remember the 3 B's, balance, bandha, body. So the balance is there. You put the kicking foot, you put your hand on your hip first. You kick that same side foot and the opposite hand pushes. That's balance. Bandha is a little hug. And then body is just finding the position that the balance, literally physical balance on one foot, and the bandha, the squeezing inner leg, inner arm, creates the position of the body. So over time, you don't have to guess where your foot lands. You're not stepping on your other foot. You're just putting it or balance, a little bandha, and then sinking, bending your knees, sinking down into the stance, slow as you go. There's your position. It's science. It's physics. So it's beautiful. And then your weight's back on the heel. You've got finding the inner thigh of the back leg by sinking into it. The hand that's held out, that inner arm is hugging to that back inner leg thigh. And then you put your hand on your hip. You put the other hand forward as you shift your weight forward into your front turned out foot, inner heel. And that's the other power, advancing forward, which is coming from the front heel now. Very smart. Later, you can squat and go very, very inner, very strong. But that's, that's a lot. So good. A lot to play with. All right. So I thank you for allowing me to show you some advanced martial arts in a soft, simple, therapeutic fashion. All right. Most welcome. So we come down to the mat, we bow in, take Seizasan across our feet, hands on the thigh. Prepare your mind, body and spirit with breath and Vanda, which happens by lifting the tongue to the roof of the mouth and breathing through the nose. Pretty simple, very powerful. And as we do with practice, slowly we start to feel exhaling the navel slightly towards the spine. And inhaling, holding that navel, expanding the backside body. And every time we close out in the front, expand the back. It raises the heart, spreads the wings, sternum up, shoulder, scapula wide. And again. And bring our hands together. On our next in-breath, we hold the breath in for the sound vibration, the inner healing. Aho. We connect to our gods, to our higher purpose, or whatever we feel is important. As we say namaste, or salam alaikum, or shalom, or have a nice day. And then we bring the hands to the top of the thigh, maybe cross the opposite feet. Get strong on the breath, we juice up the body. You just do that until you get satisfied. As that provides an element of detox, we go ahead and lift the tongue and breathe a few slow prana breaths again. To rebalance the system, decompress. Nicely done. Now today in Kick Flow, we're going to start out with something I rarely teach, which is very exciting and fun. It's called, and I don't know the other languages, but in my Korean tradition, my Korean dojang tradition, it's called Kicho Chalgi. Ki is the same as Japanese, like chi, like prana, energy. Kicho Chalgi is a releasing power, energy. So we stand up. We're probably going to turn our mat to the side for now, if you want to stay on your mat, because we're going to take a kima jase, which is a horse dance. Same in Japanese and Chinese, ma is horse. I'm not sure the Japanese, but in Chinese it's the same. So kima jase, energy stance of the horse. Jase is stance in Korean. So this is a horse dance, which is kind of like Warrior 3, exactly, actually. Good. So then let me get a little closer to you so you can see what I'm doing with my hands. This is very powerful practice. All practice starts like this in the dojo. So we cross the wrist to connect the energy and feel the power, just like we do when we resist, like cross the wrist, but just relax, palm down, and very soft. There's yang form and yin form. We'll start with yang to release old energy, and then we'll shift to yin to activate new energy. Very smart. So we squat, cross, inhale, circle around, chamber at the hip, spread the fingers strong, very strong, like boom, open your, spread your fingers, extend forward your arms, straighten your legs, come up. It doesn't matter, but this is a mantis, but it doesn't matter. I'm just doing a peace sign. My thumb touches my 2 forefingers and I bend my wrist. The other fingers are just like a peace sign. But instead of the thumb catching the folded fingers, the thumb catches the peace fingers, and then the wrist bends. It's a very powerful mudra for striking, but it's also for energy. Let's try that again. Inhale. hold the breath, spread the fingers strong, that's the bandha, and extend out, bring it up, and release it down. Inhale, hold your breath, come into your depth, activate your power, extend your power, rise your energy, and then let it go. So the breath pattern is inhale, hold the breath, find power, extend the power, rise up, exhale, release. There's only one inhale, one exhale with a big retention. Inhale, retain, power, hold the breath, exhale, release. The next level is to understand that in martial arts, we have bandha mantra. So we have sounds to feel where the bandha is activated to, for one, to be able to hear and feel where the bandha is, make sure it's in the right place. For example, sorry to interrupt our flow, but if you say, oh, it's in your throat. If you say, oh, it's in your chest. If you say, oh, it's in your solar plexus. If you say, oh, it's in your, you can feel it, right? You're coming from the right place. So they have very smart techniques. But not everybody likes to make big noise in public, even online. So, or it might give you a headache. So the introductory way I developed, as the masters do actually over many years, is they just go like that, just the S sound. That's where the core prana comes from. So we go inhale, and sorry, but the detail is that you don't exhale all the way. You don't. You just just enough to activate the bandha, a little sit bone, a little navel, just a partial exhale, very like you just empty the air tube on the tire a little bit, just to check it's the valve. Not a lot. You're not exhaling all the way. Let's try. Inhale, a little bit, and so there's a tiny exhale on the kumbhaka, if that makes sense. Let's try again. Inhale. Very spread fingers, very strong. Make your mantis. Let it go to a complete stop. Let's try again. One more. Inhale. Two. And the sound you make is your own self-expression. That's one of the gifts in martial arts. They don't tell you what sound to make. They just want it to hear that it comes from the right place. And that's the only thing that matters. Okay. It's just that, like Ujjayi Pranayama with the masters, when we're first learn Ashtanga, we're trying really hard. But later the masters of Ashtanga will be like, you can't even hear the breath. And the same with the masters. The young black belts be like, whoo, like in the movies, right? So if you see the masters, they'll be like, they don't waste energy at all. It's all internal power. I just share that with you. Okay, good. And then we go to the next one, which is bring the feet shoulder distance apart, more relaxed, right? Okay, and then we're gonna cross. I've forgotten the sequence, so I'll try to remember the ones that I love. So inhale, make a big circle, come your elbows and palms up, fists together, squat, open your fingers, a little exhale, lift up the world, and let it go. Good, let's try that again. Inhale, big, full, around the world, squat like a malasana, hug in like a mayura, open the power, lift it up, release it. Good, let's try that again. Inhale. Lift it up, let it go. So fun. Okay, good. Let's see. Okay, let me show you one more. Okay, so the one that's closer to yoga, that one of the first connections I saw between martial arts and yoga is they did Warrior One. So turn to one side and cross, loosely Warrior One. And then they did the same thing, circle, two, spread and release. And turn to the other side. Inhale. Turn to the other side. Two. Like that. whatever sound you want to make, as long as it's coming from downstairs. That's all you need. Two. Good. And then you shake it out. Let it go. Okay. And then we do the yin version. Once we activate the energy, which is a little slightly different, which looks like this. Same set. Well, this time there's no short exhale. It's just inhale, retain, open the power, release, exhale, like we did in the beginning. So it's more soft. It's like inhale, exhale, in, in, step in, in, retain, in, feel the harmony, hold, turn to the side, in, spread the fingers, retain, lift, and exhale, release, turn to the other side, in, retain, release, one more time, in, in, beautiful. So that's the yang yin options of releasing old energy and increasing new energy. Very powerful. Okay, so then you can turn your mat back however you need to. And we'll work our way up to kick flow. Nice. All right, so the next level is just what we tend to do is to stretch out first, pull back on the toes. Ooh. Pull back on the base of the toes, pressing through the base of the toes. So long ankles, flex toes. Take a few breaths, find your alignment and your activation of power, inner line. Then we'll take a diamond position like a bartokona. So we're doing a lot of hip work. So I'm just going to push one thigh away and twist. Push the other thigh away with the hand back on the floor and twist. Nice. I'm going to go right into diamond to reach through and bind the outer feet from the inner leg and walk the seats way back, attempting to get the elbows towards the floor. Shoulder blades back, chest forward with the breath, and release your head down. Extra breath. Holding the feet option, kicking the legs straighter as possible, adjusting the seat from the side to side pelvis. Try to get between your blades, start to open up that thoracic spine. Then release. Cross and kneel up. We'll take Bandha flow, cross the feet, pull back. Press the thigh, 1. 2. 3. Cross the opposite feet. Hammer the hips option. Go into the core now. 1. a little uncomfortable if you're digesting, it's okay. Or detoxing. 3. Pelvis side to side, not moving the hands, can give quite a massage on the core, the colon. Flex the toes eventually and sit on your heels. Body bandha, upper core. Inhale, retain, hug. Exhale, press it down. 2. 3. Cross the feet. Catch the thigh above the knee. Thumbs hugging inner thigh, hug in. Flex up. If you need more, back. Spread fingers, back hands. Hug in. Inhale, sternum back. Sacrum forward. And repeat. All right. One more. All right. I'm going to flex my toes and catch my heels. Work a little bit deeper. Or just hold the pelvis and cross the feet. Circle the arms a few times. Keep hugging the legs in. Keep pressing the sacrum. Let's try the other side. 1, 2, 3. Come back into a squat. Take prayer. Click. Lean one side, push the thigh away. Check your neck, draw the bow. Back to the back wall, clasp your fingers. Come back to prayer. Try the other side. Sure. Take your crow variation that you like. And hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Walking dog. I take it all back. Today my voice spray is stinky. I might have to open the windows. One heel down, cross the heel and lock for a breath. Cross and lock the opposite side. Kneel down, spread fingers, index or thumbs forward, X flex forward, tiger, inhale, squat back, X flex, inhale, extend back, X flex, in, extend, X flex, in, extend. I'm going to circle the pelvis several times. Check the hip mobility, the back decompression, and the core activation. Try the other direction. X flex, in, extend, X, in, X, in, X, in. Okay, we'll try the standing wave, standing tiger. So X, stand down, X, flex, inhale, squat, extend, X, flex, inhale, squat, extend, X, flex, inhale, squat, extend, X, flex, inhale, squat, extend. Now we do the cross core flow. So I'm going to take my right leg up. Kick back to the side, get a wide stance, way off the mat. Push it like a dog. And plank, side body work. Kick around, cross core 2, slide out, sweep the arm back. Back to dog. Tiger body in between sides. Up dog. Or soft upward kneeling bent elbow core up dog. If you need to work it out a little bit, that's okay. Down dog. Second leg. Open that Scorpio. Kick way back to the back side wall. Super wide. Push it. Extra breath like a down dog. Because that's super long side rib body. And then strengthen that opposite side rib body as you come forward. Back leg kicks up and around. Inner standing heel base. Slide out and sweep. And back to dog again. Wave motion. Tiger to up dog. And down dog. Step your first lunge for grounded archer. Once you reach back, you can press the sacrum, push up, heart high, extra breath, exhale, shoulder blades back. Kick your back heel back. Make sure you have a nice long stance. Kneel down, catch your back foot. And hold for 3, 2, 1. Release that down, hands to the inside. Go for an arm lock. Pull the hips back. Try to kick around and balance on your arm if you can and kick out. There's your kicking mudra. Toes down, big toe up. Push through the outer heel. And push up. Drop onto your shin base side forearm for baby Scorpio. Pressing through the forearm, fingers spread, thumb up. Maybe press to standing version for the deep shoulder. And that transitions us into upper cross core. On the forearms, kick back, step behind, push it like a dog. And then plank forward a little for some power on the opposite side body. And change back to down dog, change to the opposite forearm and kick through towards the front of the mat and circle back. We'll just show your gut, show your biceps, feel that power, and then stand down dog, tiger, body, up dog, down dog. Second foot steps forward to the grounded archer and lunge forward and reach back. Push long forward shoulder, press sacrum. Inhale, sternum up, sacrum down. Exhale, shoulder blades back. Kick back, make sure you have the stance you need. Kneel down, catch back foot, 3 breaths, pull. 1, 2, 3. Release down, hands to the inside of the foot. Go for arm lock. I suggest thumbs forward, but pull the hips back. Stretch out your back, whatever you feel. Kick around, try to balance on your arm, kick out. Point your toes down, lift your big toe up, push through the outer heel, and kick back, drop to your kneeling forearm side, baby Scorpio. You can stand down onto your forearm, go deep shoulder, spread fingers of forearm, hand, thumb up, deep shoulder, upper cross core 1, kick back behind you to the side, push it back like a dog, and plank for some power. And change to the opposite forearm. Try to kick forward. It's a diagonal line. And open up your power. And relax back. Kneel down, push up, tiger. Press up, dog. Inhale deep, exhale long, down dog. Kneel down, take Sesasana. While I drink a little water and feel the effects of the practice before the standing warrior kick flow set. I like to check in by, like the early work, hands at the top of the thigh, pushing shoulders up and back. Try to lengthen your lower spine or beyond through the upper spine. Okay. Everybody good? Ready to go. So we take warrior one. And we make our way the way we need to, whatever that is. With my core warrior in by flexing tiger up, elbows in towards the navel and alternate shoulder blades. Attempting to pull the ribs off the spine and the back. And wait for the feeling in the navel. And maybe whatever length you need for warrior one. Prayer down and spread fingers, palms strong between the elbows, pulsing. Advanced option, lift your toes in every pose, then spread them back down. Feel the ground. Open to warrior two, stand on the line. Back wrist, back heel in, squats. In circles. Put your back into it a little, maybe. Back to the core. Inhale, back a little bend. Exhale, center power. In. X. All right. I'm going to toe heel in until I feel comfortable to squat with the knees over my toes and roll. 1. 2. 3. I'm going to turn the feet parallel by hugging inner legs. Pull my heart high, my blades back. And use my legs to feel a little power. And then turn the front foot forward. Back hand reach, step wide off the back foot. Forward, step narrow. Back leg hand reach forward, step wide. Front leg hand reach forward, step lean. And eventually keep your wide forward pelvis stance and just cross strike. That is in a way that is comfortable. I'm going to pull the kick. If you're not sure about your lower back, you go core warrior again. It's always good to work it out first. Eventually, and you could shield if you needed to shield. And core. Inhale, shield. Exhale, core. Inhale, shield. Exhale, core. But eventually you'll reach around forward and pull the kick. In X, pull. Inhale, stand down, short stance. Natural stance. That's balance. Bandha, body, same thing. Fast or slow, your call. The next one is to reach around and try to pull from the front pelvis. Pull, keep the pelvis forward, pull the leg in like a tabletop sideways. Good job. Inhale. And that will crunch your waist, so you can always stretch it out a little bit. Oh, if it gets a little crampy, it's natural detox. And also touch the thigh, right? We know what to do. Good. Then we're going to keep the pelvis forward, reach the back leg, arm across, but we're going to pull the feet together and lift the chest. There's enough space in the spine as we open the hip. Inhale. You can hold your hip or your sacrum, whatever you like. Try to maintain inner stance, which means weight on the inner heel, which will maintain your balance in standing balancing pose, which is what kicking is. Big detox, very good. And then we cover, and we're going to turn back with reverse warrior. And then we're going to, you can stretch out if you like, kind of like a warrior too. That can be done anywhere in this kind of pose. Very similar to warrior, reverse warrior. And then we're going to clasp the fingers and resist till the shoulder blades drop. Turn on your pecs, your biceps, your delts, your shoulders, and then pull straight legs first. Just touch the heels. Inhale. You prep the core. 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. Now the core is active on that standing side. We're going to bend the knee, which will turn on the back, so take it easy. 1, 2. Try to keep resistance all the time between the arms. 4, 5. Here's where you would have held the wall with your forearm or not when you catch and pull out. The heel stays on the hip. You can base the thigh and go deep. Then let it go. Good job. And that's when you would have, that's that motion where you had to put your feet together so that you could change feet, catch your back foot, and push your head into your palm for cross-court stance, warrior 7. And squash. Find the inner strength, your leg. You tone those thighs. Whoops. Ooh, sorry. And then stand down. Right. Now this yogic variation is the hand that's already on the head is very convenient because it stays there. That's the elbow, the upper arm you pull to get that long side body. Good job. So the head, holding the head is the choreography that teaches the pull. Good job. Then you take your bow from your deep hips. So it's always good to hook your hips with your thumbs, with your fingers spread, slightly grabbing, but beautiful. Nice long lumbar, nice engaged thigh. Reverse lace lock option behind, fingers pull shoulder joints, thumb pads press together to activate some kind of ribs strength, even navel, maybe eventually, through the breath. You can also hold the floor with your finger stand. It's quite a nice teaching option or gentle practicing option. So you can teach people that they can't, if they don't move their feet, they can't turn any deeper. So they have to walk and turn the feet, walk the finger stands and turn the feet back to the other side. Or you just, you just help yourself up by lacing the thigh. If you want to twist back into the pose. And inner thigh, inner pelvis, inner navel, tiger body, in full expression. And then you just turn back to the other side. Okay, good job. I need a quick bio break. So I'm going to take 30 seconds and we'll prepare for the second side. Thank you. This also gave me a chance to open the window, the glass doors. What did I think I cursed myself talking about my wild boy cat spray smells good. It does not. Jeez. Sprayed my pants. It's a funny boy. So if you had your, let's review really quickly just for choreography and, you know. So if you're in Warrior 1, we're on the first side again. Warrior 1, first side. Warrior 2, side body. 3, toe heel. We'll just go right into the pull back. Feet parallel maybe. Turn back to front. Work it out. We're on the first side. You know, whatever you want to do. And then you pull it. Do your thing. Forward. Inside. Outside. Stand down as long as you please, like a Warrior 1. Reverse it back. Pull your feet together to the back of the mat. And then step behind. Take your bow. And then turn back to the second side. Good job. In any case, wherever you got with that challenge, we're going to start on the second side. So we have this, we're on the second side, right? And we take our Warrior 1 the way we need it. We feel that expansion from the contraction. Take our pose. Prayer in. Pulse. Pulse. Big push. Big shoulders back. Good. We open up. Open that power, open warrior. Original name because it actually opens the power. Yes, your field. We turn the back heel in, right? We bind ourselves. Padahasta. Bind our hands in circle. Come back to core. That long tail. Ooh, that deep spine. Back to power. Good job. Yoi, yoi. I'm gonna go ahead and toe heel in and squat and roll. Sorry, I skipped the twists, but I just want to get onto the kicks. 2. 3. Feet parallel, pull that surfer's pose like a drop back. After that back bend, I'm going to go back into my core for core warrior 5. And then I'm going to strike from the back and step wide. Strike from the front and step lean. Wide. Lean. Wide. Lean. I'm going to keep my wide stance and keep my pelvis forward and just enjoy that. And work that oblique side rib ab body. We work the W-A-S-T-E out of the W-A-I-S-T. Get the waist out of the waist. Feels so good. If you need a little more before the kicks, you know what you need to do. Get your squat, find your back, find your front, connect to the side. You might make a longer or shorter stance if you want to shield it. It's more of a warrior 1, so that might be a little longer for your back bend. Back bend is long stance. Core can be long stance. It's okay. It's just not as strong. It's fine. Inhale. Yo. Exhale. Inhale. Ooh. Yo. Exhale. Feelings start to feel good. Yo. I'm gonna set up my kick. In X, of course, that becomes a short stance. Takes a total short form. Can be, mostly, not always. So nice. Gonna come across the back leg side and pull it around. One. Soft or strong as you please. We'll get there. Okay, and then let's turn it out. Let's open that hip, reach way across and down, but we won't kick low down. We always lift the chest with a straight spine when we kick. And there you go. Want to push your sacrum, you go ahead. Always the healthy person makes their weaknesses their strengths until they find balance. So I'm lefty, I'm southpaw with the hand on my foot, but my right side became strong. You see, I get excited on my power side. I made that stronger to survive, and I created some balance, hopefully. Then we turn it back. Like warrior one to the other side, put the hands down. Good. Clasp, pull, resist. Make sure that you start backwards on your back lunge direction when you pull, so that you have some pull to bring your foot to the back foot on the mat. Good job. Once you prep that core, it might be safe to bend the knee now, on the front and the back to the side. Then, if you want to hold the wall with your forearm, that's more than fine. Or you can hold your thigh and try to balance. When we catch that tabletop and pull it out, keep the heel to the hip. When you let it go, let your foot come to the other foot. The feet are together at a 90-degree angle. And then we change feet. When you catch your foot behind you, pull the heel into the hip. The opposite side, hold your head. Press up. High. Push your head back, lift your chest. Keep pulling the heel into the seat muscles. Feel the glutes activate and base your leg connection to your back. Inner stance. And then stand back. Good. Right? So if you were holding your head, you keep holding your head. And that's the arm that gets pulled, right? Get the whole side body from the upper arm down to the lower leg. As you breathe, don't forget to keep your inner thighs connected. And please squat as necessary to protect your outer IT band into the ACL, outer knee joint tissue, while strengthening your knees. And release. Hook your hips. Take your bow. Squat as necessary. Now this particular mudra, just for fun, is like the mantis when we did the Kicho-Chalgi energy work, but it's reversed. It's just peace sign, thumb pads and finger pads touch like a frog or an alien. And then you flex your wrist and internalize your shoulder. Okay. Oh. There's too much to talk about, but if you stand up right now, the way you need to, the way you can tiger up or whatever. If you got full power, of course you could Ashtanga up, just from the hips, right up, whatever you need. Now, yeah, I didn't do on the first side, but it just came to my mind. If you take the front foot how can I show you this? And put the inner foot on both the base of the large toes on the front of the thigh and the inner heels on the inner thighs, both. Boom, it's a diagonal foot. It's above the knee, just hitting your thigh. And then, so that's what that is. This is super kung fu. Boom. And then you squat. And your inner heel is pushing your other standing inner heel down. The base of your large toe is pushing your hip out. So there's a spiral alignment in ancient kung fu. Then you take your froggy mantis and turn the shoulders in, fingers point up. This is a total kung fu. This is what the masters do on the rock over the river. It's very powerful. I'm not sure the combat application, but it certainly is gorgeous. I think it's just training or something I don't understand. That's the mystical level of kung fu. But okay, that was fun. It's all coming back. What are you gonna do? Okay, so we had the left foot forward turned out. Am I right? Let's see. Warrior 1, warrior 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, left foot's forward, right? Yeah. So the left foot's forward turned out. The back toes are pointing forward, right? We have cross-court stance. And then however you want to come up, we just turn back to the right side. Good. Okay, now we're, and then if you need to face to me, that's fine, or whatever you need. We're on the first side again. Now we're going to do the straight leg version. So you got to be gentle. So the first, we just pull the knee like we did the first time, forward. We stand down, pelvis forward. More open hip mobility is to stand down to the side, turn forward, pull, kick, tuck, stand down and sweep back to the side. This is full training. So you turn forward, pull, kick, tuck, sweep the earth and stand side. Good job. This is full hip mobility, full inner line strength and outer line length. This is all happening. Good job. Let's try that again. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, strike. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, strike. Inhale, prepare. Jeez, did I spend half my life in a dojo and forget about it? This is fun. Okay, then the next level is, it might be too fancy, so I don't know if I can teach it right now, but what we've been doing all these years, just coming around, just body maintenance, just good training. And actually, if you were going to come around with your knee, as I mentioned in the beginning lecture, you would extend the leg eventually. So this is, I don't even know if I can do this with my broken hip, but I will suggest this. Your front foot turns out like a cross-court stance. Your front foot turns out just like a cross-court stance. So I'm just playing with this right now to make it accessible. This is not basic work. So the front foot turns out so that when you come around, it might be more comfortable to hold the back thigh and then extend the leg around the house, kick around the house. And then you come back, turn your foot forward. Is that too fancy? Let's try it again. You don't always have to turn the foot out, but I'm trying to make it safe on the knees and the hips. The front foot turns out for now. We set up the pull. We pull what we normally do, but then we catch the back thigh and extend around, kicking the side of the head or the side of the ribs, the side body. Just kicking around the house. Then we stand back down. Your feet have to turn a lot. So it's like a dancer. You have to keep moving. Let's try that again. It's tough, right? Foot turns out. Wind it up. Catch the back thigh. Boom! That's the deal. That's a knockout kick. That's the basic knockout kick. But the only thing we're knocking out is uncertainty and resentment, right? We just want to feel the love. So we just strike with love. That's all I ever did. I never had aggression. I was just loving my partner. Love taps. All right, good. Then we go to the next level. Yeah, you can go to the wall with your forearm. Most kicking, standing kicking, using the wall, you probably press your forearm. It just gives you the leverage to lean back, because a kick, you can't stay up and kick. You need to lean back, let the hip open to take the kick. So that's why it's really nice if you have a wall to put your forearm on the wall. I'm a little far away right now, but if you did have a wall, put your forearm on the wall, on the shoulder line. And it's not like yoga where you have your hip over your ankle, but it is. You do try to have the hip over the ankle, but it's and then you can catch the back thigh and just boom, 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 boom. That's training. And then later you learn to hold your thigh. And but the real alignment is the toes turned back. So the standing foot is usually toes backwards, just like a half moon. The toes point backwards, that you lean back, just like a reverse warrior, just like a lunge. So if you hold your thigh, your toes pointing backwards, then you can catch your back thigh, point your knee forwards, and boom, boom, boom. That's more advanced. The wall is also nice. Just so you know how to play with it, how to teach it. It's okay to teach it at this level. This way, anybody can teach and practice, because it's, as you can see, it's fairly safe. Okay, good. Now the next one that we will explore today, as I mentioned earlier, is pretty crazy. So let's just see how we feel about it. If you're facing forward for the spin, they're all short stances, like core warrior basically. And the front foot steps to the other side of the mat. And then we turn the feet, look back, and turn all the way around into a cross-court stance. That's a fast track. That's a spin. Then the wall would be your friend right now, or you're holding your thigh. You pick it up like the roundhouse, but this time you open the leg out. That's it. Good job. It's tough. And then you go, and then eventually, be careful, go back to the forward. Step the front foot across the mat. Turn behind you and come around. With martial art applications, it's also nice for dance. It's also nice for balance and power. But the elbow strikes and the palm protects the vitals, the ribs, the organs. So that's just, if you're in a core warrior one, you're in a core warrior, the front foot steps to the other side of the mat, you're in this funny cross leg, narrow stance. Then you look back and turn around, elbow forward, and palm, don't care. And then that means that your standing foot, his toes are pointing backwards. This might be quite fancy. But in a cross-court stance, the back foot, when you lean on your heel, the toes are pointing forward. But then when you change the kick, the toes are pointing back, just like the way you want them. And that's it. You let it go. That's tough. Now I'm going to do it in the same direction as you if you're facing me, just in case you can see me, if that's a little easier, because this is advanced choreography. Don't get frustrated if it seems too much, because it is. I'm just playing. This is black belt. I mean, you got 10 or 20 years in for this. So we're just playing. So you're in core stance, forward position. The front foot steps across, right? In this funny narrow stance. Then you turn around and in this cross-court stance. The foot, and then you come around and pull the leg out, and that's it. This is not the type of thing that the teacher needs to, or the student needs to be attached to get. That was nice, Gun. So let's just try it one more time and don't care. Facing forward, the front foot steps across, very briefly, just enough time for you to turn around. Then you pick up your tabletop, you're tucked, and you push your thigh and pull the leg back. Now, if you did it, I'm not suggesting you do this, but I'll demonstrate the centrifugal force, the velocity. When I go faster, it would if your foot would spin like on the like a dancer on the base of your large toe, then it would look like this. It would just spin you around. So you'd be like, ooh, like that. Nice. Let's move on. That's the peak challenge. That's insane. So I'm probably being irresponsible to show that, but we're a mixed bag. So let's move on. That was good. All right. Okay. So then, and then the last one we discussed in the beginning, we'll just do for fun. It's all cross-core work, actually. It's all cross-core stance. If you're just standing there and you step back and catch your foot again, hold your head, do a sexy pose, poster girl, poster boy, step behind, and just hold that power. The thing in cross-core stance is you lean to the back heel, and that back heel takes the opposite hand. Always one hand on the hip. Very like grab your own ass. Nice. Grab your hip, your side pelvis muscle, and then that's weight back. And when the weight goes forward, you change hands. So you do the opposites. So the easy understanding is that the weight, the heel that's holding the weight, the opposite palm is pushing the power. Very simple. Back heel, opposite palm. Front heel, opposite palm. Got it? Good. So now we go back to normal. Just hanging out, having fun. This time, instead of holding our head and catching our foot, we just step behind. The kicking foot, you start with your hand on your hip. That's easy, right? And then the foot that steps, the opposite hand pushes. Boom! That's the first strike or block. The weight's on the back heel. Then you shift the weight to the front heel, put your hand on your hip, and push the opposite palm. It's so rewarding when you do it naturally in a flow. This is a good thing to practice. So just catch the hip of the stepping foot, opposite palm. Weight in the heel, shift weight forward, and then it just becomes like a flow, just like, and now you're doing Kung Fu. That's how easy it is. This is real. Very powerful, very effective. It's the same as dance. Oh, yeah, cool. Nice. And that could go into like an art of Matsumbro, like we'd ride the horse. The horse rider game we play, that could go into a squat. Yes, the calf fits over the thigh a little bit above the knee. Yes, it does. I understand that. Boom, boom. You just kind of rest your thigh. Just crossing your legs and your sit bones on the opposite heel. Your sit bones on the opposite heel, right? So that's a cross pose. Very powerful. All right, let's try the other side from the beginning, from the top. So we go all the way back to Warrior One on the other side. So we just use vinyasa for that at this point because we've added a lot of choreography. Somebody likes this move. I love it too. All right, let's take it down. Let's pull it up. Let's bring it back. Let's take the second foot forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right. Now this is the straight leg one, so we did not do on the first side. I got carried away, but doing the kick, coming back to the side, coming back, we'll come back to that. I'm doing a lot of exhales, but it's actually inhale, exhale, strike. It's always inhale, prepare, exhale, strike. In, prep, strike. Good. And then we come around, side, 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 side. Now we're going to turn the front foot out See if we can catch that inner stride, catch the back thigh, and press it out. Bring it back. Turn the foot forward again. Turn the foot out. Come around. Boom. Catch the back thigh. Push your standing thigh also if you need to, or the wall. Now, whoosh. Stand down. Let me back up a little bit. Front foot turns out. So your hips can come around. Catch. Hold back thigh. Good. In a martial art application, just for fun, there's two ways to kick. One is to flex the ankle and pull your toes back, so you kick with the base and large toes. But most people just point their ankle and toe and kick with their instep. The metatarsal one, the big toe to ankle bone, very strong bone. So you turn the foot out, come around, catch the back thigh, point the foot, boom. So you could kick a soft pole that way, just tip. Or if you have shoes on, you can practice on those lamp posts. People might think you're crazy, but yeah, so like that. Good, very nice. All right, the next crazy one is we stepped across and turn back and then tuck and pull open the leg to get that deep sacral release. I'm not sure if I should face you or face away from you, but I'll do both. One more time, facing forward. Step my foot across on the line, funny. And I turn back and come back around. And then I catch my ankle, front ankle, pull the heel to the hip and pull the thigh back. That juicy, long core, deep tail, spine, lumbar spine stretch. Good job. Of course you can hold the wall. Of course you can hold the wall and just be like, oh yeah, so good. We do it all the time. Okay, good. All right. And then I want to move on to the straight leg kick. So we're going to get a little hot. There is going to be some peak heat, a little bit more. Sorry. So, but let's do this. The kung fu stances first. One is you step behind and catch your foot, hold your head. This is the second side, and work inner stance, spread toes, base of toes. And step behind and just sink into your back heel, sink into your front heel. Very ballet, right? Sink into your back heel, sink into your front heel. All right, and we go back to neutral. This time we won't catch our foot and hold our head. This time the kicking foot will put that hand on the hip. Just slap that hip. Then the stepping foot steps to the side behind. You sink into that heel, and the opposite free palm pushes. Boom. Pardon me. Then that palm shifts to the hip. You shift your weight forward. It's very okay to bend the knee. The other hand comes forward. And you start to play with the hug of the opposite active weight-bearing heel and lifted a palm. The inner arm, inner leg hug. That kind of power is coming down through you in a big X fashion. Try that again with the hug. So with the hand on the hip that we're going to step with, we step, we get ready to push. Step and push. Boom. Play with that hug. The weight on the back heel, the hugging of the lifted arm. Hug the inner thigh and inner arm. Boom. And feel that power. Then put the hand on the hip, shift the weight into the front heel, opposite palm, little hug, little power. Very nice. Okay, good. The one thing I did not do, I'll show you in a moment after my 30-second bio break. Sorry. Thank you. I hope you took advantage of that time to do whatever you needed to do, or try that again. Now, the one super advanced Kung Fu pose that we did not do on the second side, let's try that now. So if you have your left foot forward, the other foot comes up and slaps the thigh above the knee. That means the base of the toe, large toe, is on the front of the thigh above the knee, and the inner heel is on the inner thigh, close to the knee. It is pushing the inner stance, the inner ankle, but you're also kind of keeping the hip out and the ankle in. And you squat into that. This was my famous poster boy image in Shanghai. I forgot about that. Whoo! I was younger then. Okay, so that's a powerful pose. Now when you watch Kung Fu movies, you're like, that master's doing that on the rock over the river gorge. I don't know why they do it. I think they're just grounding some serious power. It's more of an internal thing, I imagine. Okay, so now before we close out with some cool down, we're a little past the mark, but that's okay for the schedule for the cool down. But okay, so let's change sides. That's how we change sides. Martial arts, just change sides. There's no time. Excuse me, I have to do my just change sides. Okay, good. We remind each other that the back heel can come up like boxing and strike off the back, just like a lunge, just like the new lunge Warrior One in many practices. The back heel does come up in warrior poses, so you can just boom, right? That's kind of like a boxing, or whatever country, where some of the back heel comes up, right? So it's okay to take a lunge. It's ancient. It is powerful. It's okay to lunge. It's okay to talk about how lunge is power. It's okay to do warrior in a lunge. It's an ancient thing. Beautiful. Let's just try the other side for fun. The back heel can come up. There's no problem with that. Boom! That really gives a big thrust on the hip. So it can give you some serious power. Or give you some very nice, extension of power when the back heel's up, like in yoga. That's fine too. And yes, it does drop back down, just like in the Warrior One, Warrior Two these days. It's nothing new. Good. Okay, now right foot. Well, let's do a yoga. Let's check do the therapy. The yoga is the therapy part. I used to teach yoga to my martial art family, my martial art brothers and sisters. They loved it. It really helped. That's why the greatest martial artists, the greatest champions in the world these days, they all do yoga and pranayama, and they're smart. They know what's good. It's the therapy stuff. But okay, so eventually when you do enough flow, you feel good, we'll come right foot forward. Do one more sequence today, please. So this time, we bring the knee up and come back to the squat. Bring the knee up. Inhale. Real training. In the knee strike. Just 10. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now you don't have to squat as much if you're tired, but we're going to swing the leg. Be very gentle. Inhale, straight spine. Exhale, straight spine. Inhale, high, hard. Exhale, high, hard. In, X. In, it's easier to pull it. Cover and pull. Cover and pull. Good job. Okay, now we're going to kick, inside kick. Go as low as you like. Just don't strain your back. Try to keep your chest up. Okay. I'm just touching my inner ankle bone. Always turn the shoulder in if you need to block, but it's also a nice massage. It's also fun. It's kind of sexy. Cover. Good. Cover. Good job. Cover. Good job. Okay, then we take it out. Very gentle. It's okay to bend the knee. It's okay to straighten the legs. Later, the power is on the down, but don't hurt yourself. That's an axe kick, okay? But okay. Very effective. The axe kick goes both ways, by the way. It's just you're more vulnerable coming from the outside. It's coming from the inside, you're blocking and striking. That's why I prefer that, but I used to prefer that. Very hard to stop. I haven't done that in a while. Good job. And change sides. Oh. Yeah. Warm it up. Add the squat. You're looking for some training. Halfway, doing good. Okay. Now you don't have to squat as much, but try gently straight spine, straight leg. Okay, we take it in, inner ankle bone. Low is okay, just keep your chest up, don't lean into it. Good. Cool. And of course, that could be an axe, but don't care about that. Then we go, take it out. Ooh, very gentle. Bend knee. Okay, it's great hip joint development. Really lubricate your joints. Get your joints back. Ooh, this is the therapeutic maintenance, the recovery. This is what it takes. The yoga's not getting it. This is what it takes. You're smart and gentle. Good. Yes. Okay. Okay. Ground combat, drop. Forearm, catch your wrist. Find your push-up position, your pinchy, mayurasana, your forearm position. Elbow on the wrist line, wrist on the elbow line. Good job. Then we bring the knee up by the hip as best you can. I like finger stance. Do what you like. It gives me more grip, more hug, more ribs. But okay. And then push it out. Heel higher than the toe. 10, 9, or just do 5, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're gonna go high, knee high to shoulder, low high swing. 4, 1, high tuck. 2, 3, 5 is okay. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. High pulse, push it. Full range, full inner power, full outer mobility, muscles, joints, circle back, biggest circle you can manage. Work it out that sacrum and hip, and then step behind your kneeling cross course lunge. Good job. Step as far back as you can on a diagonal kneeling shin. Then you could slowly lower down like a swan and do a little stretch. Oh yeah. Because what hip really got worked? The base. The base is the power. Oh, and that's why we need to, instead of crossing the legs and doing a stretch, we need to kick back, counter pose. So the forward swan leg, the base leg of the kick, is now kicking back. We changed legs because we need to stretch that hip. The cross core counter stretch. The forearm hand catches what was once the forward swan base leg and catch and kick. Tiger tail play. Kick. Press, palm, base, shin. Drop and take your push out. Well, no. Ouch. Now Karasana, that's crocodile pose. Vinyasa. That's a stronger. Okay, it's probably Kung Fu. All right. Second foot. Oh my God. No. Yes? Did we not do the kicking on the second side? I forgot.
Ground combat.
Did we do straight legs kicking on both sides, right?
No. Ground
No?
combat, left side. Left leg.
No. Standing straight leg kicks. Does anyone remember?
We did both sides.
Okay, good. Thank you. You remember. Okay, so drop to the second side. Ground combat. Thank you for that clarification. We get to the forearm, catch the wrist, and lift the leg up by the knee up by the shoulder. Right? Okay. And push it out. This is my injured hip, but not bad. Just getting stronger, getting more stable. Is the heel higher than the toe? Is the hip internal? Yes. Is the outer heel pushing? Extending that internal hip? Yes. Extended internal hip? Yes. Extend it. Push it and then extend it. Yes. Low, high. Here we go. Ooh, tough. High, low, high. Inhale, high, low, high. Inhale, high tuck. Exhale, low, high. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. High pulse, high pulse. Go, go, go. Oof, 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 oof. Big circle. Oof. Big circle. Oof. And step behind your swan lunge. The cross core lunge. Oh boy. Feel good. Oh, slowly slide your back foot back or just fall out. And try to get into your swan and lie your yin style ribs, front ribs on the inner forward thigh. See if the front rib pressure allows the lower back ribs and lumbar spine to relax and let go with a deep sigh. And take that front leg back and counter into your baby Scorpio, opposite sides, and forearm hand. Front swan leg kicks back, front forearm hand catches back, opposite foot, and kick and press. Now we're doing the rotating Nataraj, Parivrtta Natarajasana. And drop. If you want the standing version, we can. We need to cool it down now. Good work. I'll go ahead and take the standing version just because it feels good. Drop from downward dog, I'll drop my heels together. Set my standing inner heel like a warrior one. Enough diagonal out foot for balance. And catch and kick. Like a down dog. Press, deep, kick. And finally kick, kick, kick. And eventually plank that as you kick. Plank, 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 kick, plank. And let go, take your press. And pull it back. We might need Kung Fu Part 2. I'm just starting to remember so much fun stuff, but maybe another time. Let's try the other side. Let's try the other side. Push it like a down dog. Kick, kick, kick. Plank, finally. Kick and press, and release. Take it down, up, and back. You need wrist therapy? Most welcome. And finger stands wide. Tiger body sets up the core for the push-ups. And then inhale the breastbone forward. Palms down, crossed ankles, thumbs forward, hug, drop the wings, flex up the spine, pull up the knees on the toenails, on the fronts of the feet, ankles crossed. A little press, pulse, slide press, pulsing. Beautiful. And pull through, recline. Throw in a couple of bicycles as you please, just because it's so right, such the right time for that. And straight to the scissors. Oh my goodness, no break. Core warrior, cross strike, get it on. Awaken your warrior. Feel your power. Awaken your inner Viking. And rock up. We'll finish with a as best you can at whatever level. Ekapada Supta Vira Bandha Bridge type of lunging folded leg press. Just get that core stretch. So nice. Oh, I'm so grateful to you. Pushed me to practice. Oh, I needed that therapy so much. Sacrum forward as you recline on your hands, elbows, or shoulders, whatever your body wants to do. Reverse warrior. It was reverse lace lock is incredible for stretching the core right now. That side rib and that deep, deep core, abdominal sheath, the whole deal. All right. Then when I unfold my leg, I go right into the twist with that folded leg. I can kick it out and catch the outer foot and kick it out and go into my whatever twist I want to do. Oof. Yes. Oh. Yes. And I'm gonna rock and roll, set up the final move, the second side. I might throw in a little fighter just because I am a fighter. I just learning to, we're all fighters, but we're just learning to choose our battles as we wisen with the waxing and waning of the moon and the solar flares and the star clusters and beyond. I'm going to fold the opposite leg and do my thing. You're most welcome to join me on the second side to finish here today. Oh boy, that feels good. That feels so good. I took the S off. That feels good. It's like getting in hot and cold water. Feel good. Oh, oh boy. I believe that hip joint issues, the number one therapy is this pose. It's all about lengthening the thigh and the core, help release the hip and the lumbar. That's my observation for now. Same for the knee. I'll take my twists, finish here. I'll unfold that leg slowly, bring the knee towards the chest, catch the outer foot, kick it out. Try to get my pubic bone towards the floor by walking my straight back leg, pelvis backwards until I can get a good catch on that back foot and lean into the breath and the body. Yes. And I'm out. Yeah. Oh. Oh, nice. As you are at ease, as the great Guru told me for the first time long ago, be at ease, be completely at ease. And that hadn't occurred to me before. That's all that is required. At ease. There are times when we must stand down and take our seat to reconnect to our true power on the ground. As above, so below. In heaven as it is on earth. Ahom. Shantihi, Shantihi, Shantihi. Hari Om. Tat Satu. Ahom. Ground mudra. Feel the glory and the grace. Namaste. Thank you very much. Thank you again.
Thank you very much.
Have a great time.
Thank you.